Starting with Bloomborough, a long-standing term used in Magic the Gathering rules text has been shortened. When this creature enters the battlefield will now be templated as when this creature enters. No more the battlefield. The location that the creature is entering is implied. You may have noticed that this change is just the latest example of a recent trend of shortening the rules text of Magic cards. What is the reason for Wizards of the Coast doing this? Well, the answer is quite simple. In present day, we need to make cards that are more and more complex. That means more and more words. You can't just have a commander that does one thing anymore. It needs to do 10 things, but we can only fit so many words on a Magic card. By shortening everything as much as we can make cards more and more complex. I mean, just look at all this new space. The text even got bigger. Value. And if there's one thing Magic the Gathering players love, it's value. But today's video isn't for you, dear players. No. Today's video is for giving back. Giving back to Wizards of the Coast. Hi, Wizards of the Coast. We here at Tolarian Community College understand how hard it is to fit all the words needed for your ever more complex card designs onto those teeny tiny text boxes. But don't worry, we're here to help. Let's take a look at Burke again, shall we? Vigilance. When Burke, Long Ear of the Law, enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it attacks, double the number of +1/+1 counters on it. Whew, that is still a lot of text. But watch this. We can convey the same ideas by using fewer words. Vigilance. When Burke enters, put a +1/+1 counter on up to 2 target creatures. Whenever your creature with a +1/+1 counter attacks, double its +1/+1 counters. See? Why specify Burke's whole name when everyone knows what creature you're talking about? Each of is redundant too. Up to 2 creatures is plenty sufficient for getting across what you mean. And that last sentence? Come on, a creature you control? The number of +1/+1 counters on it? That's so many words! Look at this new version of the card. So clean, so much space. We could tack a whole 4th ability on this thing. We might as well make it flip into a saga. And we can give it Ward 2. I know you love giving things Ward 2, Wizards of the Coast. Well, now you can give everything Ward 2, but we're just getting started. Look at this, 3 whole lines devoted to telling us what a treasure is? That's so sweet, Wizards of the Coast. But we play Magic in current year. We all know what a treasure token is. In fact, since most Magic the Gathering packs don't even come with the tokens that you need to play the game anymore, we just have to commit it to memory to begin with. Why bother wasting valuable rules space? So let's chop some of those excess words off, shall we? When Larcenist enters, choose up to 1 other target artifact or creature for each player. For as long as Larcenist is in play, the chosen permanents become treasures. Boom, simplified. Let's do another. Proft's eidetic memory. Proft is going to need an eidetic memory to remember all the words on this card, but look at how much more space becomes available when it is rewritten to read. When memory enters, draw. Your hand is unlimited. At start of combat, put X +1/+1 counters on your target creature, where X is how many extra cards you've drawn this turn. Chef's kiss. And it's so simple. Say, come to think of it, maybe we don't need to put any reference to the card's name in its in its E effect anyway. After all, isn't the name of the card implied? And maybe we don't need to say target either. We can just assume that any card that interacts with a specific creature or set of creatures rather than all of them is targeting. Now Proft's eidetic memory can be, when enters, draw. Your hand is unlimited. At start of combat, put +1/+1 counters on your creature for each extra card you drew. We even cut that annoying X out of the text box. There's so much more room on the card now. In fact, we can shorten it even further. When enters, draw. You hand, unlimited. At start combat, put +1/+1 counters on you creature for each extra card you drew. Don't worry about it. This is how young people sound when they text one another these days anyways. So what's the problem? Let's keep going. Burke becomes vigilance. When enters, put +1/+1 counter on up to 2 creatures. Whenever you creature with +1/+1 counter attacks, double those counters. No. That's still too long. Where else can we shorten? Keywords. Just look at how long these keywords are. Vigilance? What are we trying to win at Scrabble? Let's just shorten vigilance to Vig. Players will get used to it. Trample becomes tram. Flying? Fly. Lifelink can be life. No, wait, that's already a thing. Link? And we don't need when in the text box. The when is now. Just say enters. Even better, just say ent. And why say +1/+1 counters when it can just be +1/+1s? The S on the end is what differentiates counters from just a temporary +1/+1 boost. If it's just one +1/+1 counter, you can call it a +1/+1, which again distinguishes it from a creature getting +1/+1. I've got it. Creatures. Everybody loves creatures, but the word, it's too long. Too many vowels. Let's get them out of there. Kircher. And when Kircher die, they go to the graveyard? No, the yard. And the battlefield is now field. Hand can still be hand, that's okay. But library is deck. Using wizard flavor to name zones requires too many letters. We don't even need to reinvent the wheel here. Early 2000s internet lingo has us covered with so many great abbreviations. Never mind your just being you and your can become the letter U or UR. Opponent becomes OP. Combat becomes MP for main phase. ES for end step. Your turn and opponent's turn becomes YT and OT. That way you can do things like respond to your opponent's end of turn before your turn draw step and proceed to your main phase. It makes perfect sense! Let's see what Burke looks like now. Oh my God! It's perfect! It's the future of Magic. We can fit so much more text onto these cards now. Marchesa, Dealer of Death, now has Crime, may pay 1, Look deck, top 2, pick 1, other go yard. And Nadu, Winged Wisdom, just says Game Actions. Good luck. It might be a little confusing at first, but players will get used to it. After all, if we were worried about confusing players, why do any of this sort of thing in the first place? We've got textless cards, and cards with only some of the text on them, and cards whose text is too difficult to read clearly already, so what matter does it make? No need many words or right order even. You understand. And people can always just look up what a card does. Don't you people have phones? Wait a minute, everyone has phones. We can just make all Magic cards textless and save a fortune by also making them artless. Just put a QR code on each card and you can scan it and it tells you what the card is and what it does. I see absolutely no problem with Magic the Gathering veering in this direction. After all, scanning the QR code explains the card. It's also simple and clean, and it allows us to make cards as long and complex as we want. An innovative blend of technology and groundbreaking game design. I've seen the future, and it is blank and digital. The future of Magic the Gathering is here, and you cannot read it.
Next time on Shuffle Up and Play.
But are you ready for this? It's Iffy. He's back in Magic.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm thinking I'm back.
So the idea is we have built decks that we think are going to be appropriate for a returning player.
So anyways, on turn 3 with only 2 lands, I'm gonna play this Temple of the False God. Oh, I thought you were gonna be like, this is casual. And I'm like, well, what do you do when you dress up?
Yeah. Did you read the sticker sheet? Reading the sticker sheet explains why the sticker sheet shouldn't have happened in the first place.
I was gonna say, yeah, look at this so you tell me what you know what's going on.
Hell is this?
Not in Commander, and if you want to take it from me, I'll mud wrestle Josh Lee Kwai in Vegas for it.